Hello and welcome to another episode of Soaking Nostalgia. Guess what, everybody? Alan's back.
Hey.
I know you all have missed him just as much, if not more than we have.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. You've had a rough...
Not any more than me.
I think everybody's missed you except your right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making the left jealous since 1995.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's been a few weeks. We tried getting you on last week, but then, technical difficulties on our end didn't keep you away because you were at home. We were trying to get you Skyped in, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We made through. We persevered. We pushed through.
Well, good.
Oh, I just, threw it on my back and carried it.
You can't do that. You'll break.
It's like he's a lying ass. You know what's great about?
Hey, we got to give props to Kat who
she stepped up and
stepped up.
Yes, I did say in the last episode she's not a permanent host. She's not a permanent fixture on this. She was just kind enough to add a different voice to this. She started out I wanted her to observe as somebody. She listens to a ton of podcasts, and I thought, how about she, listen to the podcast live and tell us immediately what should we do? What should we change? Mm-hmm. And she thought, because she's already listened to the very first thing we recorded.
Yeah.
And she said just leaps and bounds difference between then and now.
Sweet.
So, and that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. That is a very good thing because we're a little more focused.
Right.
Yeah. So.
What'd you say?
We're a little more focused.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know what you thought we said. Yeah.
No.
What?
I was making a joke that I was not focusing.
Oh. I'm a little slow.
Obviously.
Yeah, you all have to bear with me.
I believe I'm more awake than you are right now.
Yeah, a little bit. I've got.
Are you sleeping now?
Major stress headache.
Are you sleeping now?
I have been up since 5 o'clock this morning.
Golly.
Yes.
That's all right. See, here's what's going to help keep me awake. They asked me what this thing that I'm about to open was. It is not alcohol. It is a Zions energy drink. This episode is going to be brought to us by Zions, not because they're paying us or anything like that, but because it tastes delicious and it's going to help me.
It's the energy drink fans version of an Affliction shirt.
Are you sure? It sounded like a Steve Weiser to me.
Oh, that'd be nice. A beer would be real nice right now, but
No.
that's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah,
I choose not to drink, but it's okay.
Speaking of, what's great about this is that we're actively choosing in the state of Kentucky, in this part of Kentucky, to forego Monday Night Raw to speak on a podcast.
DVR. And judging by the last week or so, it hasn't been worth to watch it live anyway. You want to skip through all the BS.
Oh, man, I can't wait till we do the...
there's only about 2 hours and 45 minutes of that, though, right?
Yeah. They reached a record low, 1.9 or something like that. It was... awful.
Didn't they make fun of TNA for having such low ratings?
They made the ratings were the 90s. What are you talking about? But
18.
Now the owner is going to be on there tonight to make a big announcement to shake things up again.
That's never ever going to be enough.
Unless they go back to kind of like the Attitude.
Yeah.
Then I want to see.
Well, they're trying. Bless their hearts.
We're a publicly traded company. We can't do that. We got to sell Fruity Pebbles.
They did. They had John Cena to do that.
Thanks to The Rock.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. He's the reason why the show SmackDown is called SmackDown.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's true.
It's damn true.
I like that.
You're welcome. Set you up. Gave you the volley.
You did.
You're welcome.
But before we get into the main topic tonight...
Oh, Lord, I see what's on your phone.
A couple things. Well, on the... on the format, there's a couple of items, places in there for local news, stuff like that. Two things. We had perfect because I didn't have anything for the nostalgia.
I saw that.
That's great. And that scared me because I've eaten there within the recent weeks.
Have you been checked?
No, but symptoms would have developed, I was told.
True.
by medical
I mean,
professionals.
you do look a little yellow.
That's because I've been under so much stress. Man.
Are you sure it's not that Hep A?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fortunate thing is medical professionals did say that if you have eaten there and you haven't developed anything in the recent few weeks, then you're not going
Are they
to.
closed?
They reopen on Sunday, which makes today December 17th, 2018.
Did they find out who it was?
Oh, yeah, they knew. It was an employee that had worked there at the Glasgow office for a while, a restaurant, and then they went to work at the Columbia restaurant.
Oh, nice. So is Columbia shut down too?
That I don't know. But the ironic thing is she is suing Burger King.
Why?
Now get this. Who here knows how to contract Hep A? Anybody? Well, let me tell you what she's suing for. You certainly as hell cannot, contract it through vegetables and, rotten tomatoes.
She's saying she caught it from Burger King?
Yes, she did. So that's what she's saying. Yeah.
I bet she wins.
They'll settle just to keep it quiet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
People are...
This is interesting. Yeah. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta admit that's kind of the
Yeah.
wildest thing that's happened around here. In
So her name's
many
out
years.
there?
It hasn't been released yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's all right. Other little bit
This is
of
an
news.
interesting development. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Cotton.
Other little bit of news. You know how we enjoyed the fact that Governor Bevin had, by the Supreme Court, had his
Yeah.
thing shot down. Mm-hmm. Now he's calling a special legislative session.
Of course he is.
Yeah. Because he's like, the pension system needs to change. Okay, I'll admit, some parts of it does. Okay? It wouldn't be a half-broken system if it wasn't. Because it has no way to sustain itself after the next 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got 20, 30 years to fix it.
Right.
But what you don't do is what he did and what the Supreme Court said. You cannot take a piece of legislation that has passed, take that away, and then slide a different bill inside there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
In a perfect world, sure. But also in a perfect world, Bevin wouldn't be our governor.
You straight.
So there you go.
Yeah. That's really all the local news that I had for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of hearing his name, seeing his face.
Yeah, unfortunately, we still got another couple of years.
Yep.
But
he's a man with morals. So says the old people on Facebook.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so did Bill Cosby every single night that he slipped a little Mickey into the drinks.
Right.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep. It was America's dad.
He was America's dirty uncle after what they found out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so how far are we into this already? 9 minutes. Can we talk for another 3 so I can do an ad and then we can hit the main topic?
Sure.
All right.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, hell, I don't know.
How's your mom and them?
Prices of eggs in China. Nah.
Collusion.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to hear how that whole investigation is going to come out.
Nah. I don't care anymore.
Enlighten me.
Well,
I don't know what
here's
you're
the
talking
thing.
about.
Donald Trump, in many ways, may be an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
However, you cannot be a CEO of a huge multi-billion
Right.
dollar company without being smart enough to cushion yourself
Right.
from things like he's being accused of, having some sort of real estate deals going on to his knowledge in
Right.
Russia.
Right.
He may have known, but I guarantee you there's not going to be enough evidence to prove that he, without him fully confessing that he 100% did know. It'll never happen.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a world.
I don't know. I don't care anymore, to be honest with you. I don't care either way.
Hey, do you have any
sick,
tape we can tape his eyes open with?
I'm sick of the die-hard supporters talking stupid. I'm sick of the far-leaning left anti-supporters talking stupid. I just feel like if Russia or North Korea or whoever just brings the bomb down on us and we can hit the refresh button, that would be great.
It might be well deserved.
I mean, hell with all of them.
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing it.
Hey, as long as
it has ruined Saturday Night Live for me, and it's not funny. The same joke over and over.
Yeah.
No different way of putting it.
Nope.
It just sucks.
Yeah. It's
even it's a Wonderful Life spoof that the media is like, oh, look at here. It sucks. The only satire that I can appreciate nowadays is South Park, because they tell everybody you're stupid.
Yeah.
Every single one of you are ignorant.
And that is why, even though they are tired of making the show.
Yeah. Hashtag cancel South Park. We're tired of telling these people how stupid they are.
Yeah. They've been done for 10 years. They don't want to do the show anymore.
But they're so good.
It is. It is so good.
It has never stopped being good.
And they keep paying them more and more money.
Oh, yeah. Comedy Central knows what they have there. They lost Dave Chappelle. They don't want to lose South Park.
On the SNL, actually, Jason Momoa was in a very, very good skit. It was hilarious. I don't know if it was last week or when exactly, but it was Elf on the Shelf.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Oh, this one skit was hilarious.
I watched when
I
Chappelle
just happened to
hosted.
catch it. I don't normally watch.
That's the last full show that I watched, is when Dave Chappelle hosted. And he was fantastic.
Yes, he was.
I was so happy to see him.
He got a lot of about that, too.
I don't care. Exactly. He's Dave Chappelle. He's a comedian.
That's what he's supposed to do.
He's a comedian. That's his job. Make you laugh, make you think.
Which brings us to our main topic, which we'll get to right after our sponsor. Oh no! You just got food all over your favorite outfit. You have a wedding this weekend and your trusty suit is wrinkled and looks dingy. Normal washing just won't get that spot out. Your pants need to be let out or taken in. Don't panic. Instead, come down to Key Dry Cleaners. The staff at Key Dry Cleaners takes pride in making sure you look your best for any and all occasions. Key Dry Cleaners offers same-day dry cleaning and laundry services, as well as timely, quality service for any alterations. Key Dry Cleaners has serviced Glasgow and the surrounding areas for over 25 years with the same quality and care that has helped make them not only a long-time establishment in Barron County, but also helped name them Best Dry Cleaners in Barron County for 2018. Key Dry Cleaners is located at 401 Happy Valley Road, and their hours are 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays, closed on Sundays. So come on down to Key Dry Cleaners, where all your dry cleaning needs are met with a smile. Oh man, that's painful. Every time I hear it, it's painful. And I think that's just because I'm the one, I recorded my voice on it. But
I was working at a radio.
Poop.
I was working at a radio station for about a minute, and same people who own Guntown now, and one of the characters on Top of the Hill is the Dummy, which I played a lot.
Yeah, that was quite enjoyable. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
What?
You playing the Dummy?
Oh, I thought.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that as a shot. We thoroughly enjoyed you playing that because it was very funny.
Well, thank you. Yeah. But they wanted to do an ad for the mountain, and then we had the haunt coming up in October, so we threw that on the end too. I was like, okay, I didn't write anything. I was just like, let me go into the recording room, and I'll do it as the Dummy, and you guys tell me if you like it or not. So I started it out with, hey, everybody, it's how did I say it? Hey, everybody, this is the Guntown Mountain Dummy. Come on down. Blah, blah, blah. So, put a little soul in it, Matt. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
As tired as he is, he can still pull energy in order to do a role. That's actually quite impressive.
See how much it takes out of him.
It'll probably wake me up by the time I leave here. It
is interesting you mentioned that, because you sort of went into that doing the same thing that the focus of our topic this evening, what he did when he went in for a certain role. A very famous role that came out in the early 90s called Aladdin.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were starting from the beginning. Okay.
No, I'm just introducing the topic. And I'm talking about Mr. Robin Williams.
Yes.
Fourth cousin.
The man.
You're so full of
shit. Yeah.
But if you really were, that'd be awesome.
My eyes aren't yet brown, though.
No.
They're blue.
No.
They're pretty blue.
Yeah, well, it just depends on if you're talking. We give everybody
Nice.
shit.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I can take.
Robin McLaren Williams.
Robin went in for his audition for Mork and Mindy, and he knew he was well, take that back, not Mork and Mindy, a guest spot on Happy Days.
Yes.
He was to play an alien, and he decided aliens don't sit down like normal people, so when he went in for his audition, he sat on his head.
I like that the casting director, trying to remember, I think he said something like he was the only alien that he'd met at the casting, so.
Yeah. It's probably Gary Marshall, because Gary was
I would say
over
so.
the show.
Yeah.
Over Happy Days and then over
Gary
Mork and
Marshall,
Mindy.
famous for making all sorts of television episodes,
Yeah,
television shows, and
kids might remember him from Hocus Pocus. He was Master. Yeah. And that was his wife, Penny.
Yes, Cersei and husband to Penny Marshall, who is also
Which was trying to change the channel, trying to get her out of the way.
also known for being in the film business.
Yep.
Yeah, made her own name.
Yep. Two legends.
Yeah. But the audition that I was referencing was when he went in for Aladdin. Mm-hmm. He went in there. It's almost like they wrote the part for him. They wanted him to be the genie.
Right.
But then when he went in there, he was reading the script and it wasn't coming out right. And he looked at the casting director and said, "Can I do something?
Can I play?"
Can I play?" Mm-hmm. And what are they going to tell Robin Williams?
Right.
No.
Mm-hmm. And then they ended up animating the movie around him.
Yes. And it actually cost them an opportunity for that movie to be nominated for an Oscar.
Why?
There was something about how so much of a person's role has to be written, but every single bit of his lines in there were ad lib.
So?
But that's something about the Academy cannot. There's a rule in there says that they will not allow in certain categories, like an animated film, for to be nominated. You have to have so much of every character's dialogue pre-written.
I don't believe that. That's BS.
Yeah, it's BS.
If it's true, no wonder they can't get a damn host.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're in bad shape when people say, "Hey, let Steve Harvey host," and Steve Harvey says no.
Yeah.
That man will host anything.
Yeah, and get the winners wrong sometimes, but
they brought him back.
Kevin Hart, I do not blame him whatsoever in the slightest for saying, "You know what? I don't want to do it." It was pretty cool. Now, he went on Twitter after that and apologized, but I don't think he was apologizing to the Academy. He was apologizing to anybody, any human being that might have been offended. But
he wasn't apologizing for what he said because he's already tired of apologizing for it. Because
he's not apologizing for saying it. He's apologizing if somebody got hurt. That's pretty much how he worded it.
Yes.
Which even then, I don't think he should apologize. But
no,
whatever. He likes to joke about how short he is. How small he is. He proved to the world, in my opinion, just how tall he is when he told them, "You know what? I'm not going to apologize, and I don't want to do this anymore. So see you." And then he went over to another country and broke a record.
I believe it.
So hey, it was in the same week.
Which is interesting because Robin Williams he had that same sort of.
Robin didn't want to hurt anybody.
He didn't want to hurt anybody.
He was a comedian.
Yes, and he did say some things that people could have taken as.
Yeah, he started a war between the governor and the leader of another country.
Yes, he did.
But
all
because of a joke.
In between cocaine binges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to make light of his addiction over the years, but he did make fun of it.
He would laugh too. I mean,
absolutely.
you have to. You got to laugh at yourself. And then all these people who it's weird to me how this is the double standard in 2018. Oh, Donald Trump can't laugh at himself.
Of course not.
But a comedian cracks a joke on a certain group of people or a certain stigma or stereotype or whatever. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, World War III.
Yeah.
Grow up.
I tell you.
Just like Robin Williams said, joke them if you can't take a f***.
That's right. I tell you what, one of my favorite quotes, I couldn't quite remember how it was said, so I looked it up today. It says, "Reality is just a crutch for people who can't cope with drugs."
Yeah. It's sad when you give Prozac to a
That's
cat
from
that just
Robin?
sit in the corner.
Yeah,
going,
that's Robin
"Me."
Williams.
Robin.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you hear me?
Do what?
It's sad when you give Prozac to a cat and they just sit in the corner going, me.
Me.
Oh, you're so great.
Oh man, he had some major ADHD, I think.
But that was a part of the genius of his performance.
It was his mania.
God, he was the best.
He was, and
The ultimate. And to him, Jonathan Winters was the best.
It's in the name.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. To him, Jonathan Winters, he called him his comedy Buddha. And he was the same. Jonathan ended up in a mental institution for a while.
See, I
he
didn't
had
know
a
that.
nervous breakdown. Yeah.
See, I
'Cause his
like.
I mean, their minds were just so fast. You got to cope somehow. And I mean, if you got a mind like Robin had, what are you going to do? Cocaine. Hey, yeah, that'll take the edge off.
Yeah.
That's just what I need. More go.
Oh man,
But he was fantastic.
I wonder if he got that. I don't know what you guys call it, an actor's high or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure
yeah,
he did.
absolutely.
I get it every time, and it's hard to come down.
It is. There's plenty of nights. I mean, and it's not even during rehearsals. It's whether the audience liked it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You pay attention to how you felt about your own performance.
Of course, it always helps when you get a reaction.
Oh yeah,
if you're doing theater,
instant
anyway,
gratification.
Instant. That's the difference. That's the main difference to me between film and theater. Is theater you only get one shot to get it right.
Yeah, which is one of the big things that he faced as a stand-up comedian back in San Francisco. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go Niners.
Yeah, he was. Especially back in the 70s, man. They
80s.
were, well, 70s and 80s. Yeah.
The Niners weren't very good in the 70s.
Doubles. That's all I know.
Bulls.
Chicago. That's second city.
That's 80s and 90s.
That's okay.
But yeah,
Doubles.
See, I like to act like I have all the answers, but sometimes I actually I don't. So it's good to be corrected. I do like learning, so I don't sound like a complete idiot. Of course, I'm still an idiot.
They got Montana in '79, so
Okay, so technically I was right,
they sucked that year, but
look, you can't go by first year.
they won their first Super Bowl.
You
in
only
81.
lay the foundation the first year. Then you
81,
you
they won
make
their
it
first
beautiful.
Super Bowl.
So, what was your favorite Robin Williams role, Brad?
You got to put me on the spot like that.
Or Matt could go first and then give you time to think about it.
Goodwill Hunting.
He won an award for that one.
I mean, I think we can all agree that he had just as much serious stuff as the comedy stuff.
It's not your fault,
And
Chief.
he was,
Yep.
amazing at both.
Oh, fantastic.
You might think I'm morbid in saying
He went
this.
to Juilliard.
He did.
I mean,
But at Juilliard is where he was told that he needed to focus more on his comedy than the dramatics and the serious
but he
stuff.
made both work.
Oh, he did. But he had to lay the foundation.
Patch Adams was a great mix
Oh man.
of serious and funny.
Oh, I love the what do you call it? The
the doors. Yeah. One of my favorite scenes from that film is the angry patient who kept throwing bedpans and stuff.
Oh, man.
And what got him turned around with Robin's character, with Patch, is he wakes up and there's Robin dressed up like an angel. He says, a preview of coming attractions. Then the guy's like, nurse! But, yeah, he's so good.
I don't know. I've got a couple different
I'll
ones.
probably repeat that 1,000 more times
Oh, no, go
by the
ahead.
end of this episode. He was so good.
Well, no, I've got a couple of roles that I just thought he was spectacular at. Since you've already mentioned Goodwill Hunting, I'll go a different route. You may think I'm a little morbid.
Oh,
but,
do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree.
What are you
going to
say, The World According to Garp?
No, 1 hour photo.
I knew it, yeah. Yeah, that was good, too.
Oh man, he was great.
He's creepy.
Yeah. What was that one movie he was in with Al Pacino? I can't remember. Took place in Alaska. He played a serial killer.
Oh,
I was just thinking of that one too, but I don't know the name of it.
Insomnia.
Insomnia. Yes. Man, that movie should have done better.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
Insomnia, Awakenings. Robert De Niro.
Yes.
Man. I mean, and Robin, which if you're an actor, you should anyway. Try to learn, especially if the movie's based on a real person. Try to learn all you can about that person.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Depp's pretty good at that. But I mean, Robin would meet these people and hear their story. Want to know? I mean, I remember the name is taboo now, but Matt Lauer. When Robin passed away, Matt hadn't been exposed yet.
Oh no, he'd already been exposed plenty of times.
Well, not to the point where it cost him his job.
Oh, well, yeah.
He was still revered on Today, and I was actually watching a few days ago on YouTube their tribute to him on the Today Show, and that was one of the things Matt said that Robin did as a guest on an interview. He would talk to the crew, ask them how they're doing, want to know about them, about their job. Another story was, in every film that he worked on in this contract, it was written a certain amount of homeless people had to be a part of the crew.
Yes. Yeah, it was just his way.
Comic relief. He went before Congress.
Yeah.
And one of his best lines outside of performing was before Congress. You can't keep helping people up. You got to stop them from falling.
Yes. Man.
It's awesome.
3 of the best speakers in front of Congress. I mean, celebrity-wise.
Michael J. Fox.
I think a little bit more than that. I mean, obviously, just because of the work that he's done, that's been
He
important.
did good. Him and Ali sitting right next to him.
But I mean, like, almost swinging out of left field. You know, Robin Williams would be one of them, because you wouldn't think in front of Congress that it was, you know.
Right. He cracked some jokes, but he got his message across.
But
pretty good. It was him.
Do it?
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton, my God, that was crazy.
I'll tell you the 2 people I'm thinking of, besides Robin.
But with Robin, though, I don't know if Bob Zamuda was there or not with him, but Whoopi and Billy was there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They were doing a comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't remember the name of it. I was thinking about D. Snyder,
but they were trying
Mr.
to...
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. And Tom Hanks is playing him in the movie.
Yes.
I can't wait to see that.
Which, can you imagine if Robin was still here today? Do you think that he might have been up for the Mr. Rogers role?
I think Tom would have beaten him.
But do you think they would have offered Tom the role? Do you think they would have offered Robin first? Because I don't know.
I just don't. And the reason I say that is it has nothing to do with Robin's talent, because, like I said, I love him. But it's just how that they work. And Tom, like America's Sweetheart, male version of America's Sweetheart. Oh, sorry, no, just America's Sweetheart. I don't want to ruffle any feathers saying it that way. But no, I don't.
You're not gender profiling him.
No, I don't think that Robin would have beaten Tom Hanks out of that role.
Kind of felt like he had somewhat of a version of it with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he did.
Oh man, yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire was
playing
great
with the dinosaurs and whatnot.
Yeah, I have to say, as you know, that's a family movie. But there are some family movies that I don't care who you are, you know, a big rough guy or, you know, the most effeminate female. If it's on TV, sometimes you'll just stop and watch.
Yep,
and that is one of them.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the day that he passed away, that night I put in Mrs. Doubtfire, and I got in maybe 3 or 4 Figalos, because that's how it started. Figalo, 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 Figalo. I got literally 3 or 4 of them, and
Can
I
you
cut
say
it
that
off.
5 times fast, by the way?
What? Figalo, 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 hit. Oh no! What the foul way for a bird to die? No, I didn't even make it that far.
I'll
Seriously,
just concede.
3 or 4 Figalos.
Yeah.
And I cut it off because I could not. I couldn't watch him.
Yeah.
I couldn't look at him, and it sucks. And it's like you never even met the man before, but you feel like you know him because he was always in your life.
Oh yeah.
Because you always watched him, and it's hard for some people to understand. When he passed away, there was a girl that I don't even know why she's on my Facebook friends list is beyond me. But she posted a status talking about celebrity worship and soldiers die every day. Nobody talks about them. I was like, well, for one, if we mentioned a soldier every time they died, people like you would be upset because that's all we talk about, because it happens every day. Yeah. And 2, that celebrity, and I put it in quotations, did more for our soldiers than our president.
Oh yeah, he performed at the USO a number of times.
Oh man, I mean, unbelievable. Well, the stuff that he did to the soldiers, which is make them laugh, You can't. No, I'm sorry. The president has had nothing on Robin Williams.
Well, see, the thing of it is, people forget that, yes, people like Robin, he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
People tend to forget that these are people.
Yeah.
That they're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And, in the case with Robin, he had friends, family, he had children.
Yep.
He had a couple ex-wives, but, who hasn't anymore?
Right. Well, she backtracked on what she was saying because I commented on it. Because I was like, you know what? If it was anybody else, I would just overlook it. But this man has done so much good for so many people. Mm-hmm. Screw you.
I think she, honestly, she's...
But what she said, well, I'm not talking about Robin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it just so happens to be the day that that celebrity's the one that died.
Yeah.
You decide to post a status. No. Sure. Okay.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Not even strong enough to stick to her guns.
I do love, if you can just sit and think about how these celebrities actually are as human beings, you can just look at the development of the relationships he has with other people.
Yeah.
Whether it is the USO, the soldiers, whether it's, his family or his children, or like his daughter who's now going into, gone into film of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
The crew. Oh, my gosh.
I don't remember her name.
Zelda.
No. Not his daughter.
One of them is
the actress who played the little girl, Matilda, and the little girl in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't remember her name either, but
she. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't her. It was the one that played Liddy, the older daughter.
Oh.
She was in jeopardy of getting kicked out of school. She went to a school in Canada, and Mrs. Doubtfire's shoot ran long. So she would get her work from school and turn it into them. Mm-hmm. Well, when they sent her work for the last time, they sent her along with a letter saying, oh, by the way, we're going to kick you out because this is becoming a distraction, yada, yada, yada. So Robin, she said Robin saw how she was upset, so he questioned her on it. What's going on? She told him. He wanted to know the principal's address, and he wrote a letter, handwritten letter, to the principal of her school, begging him, pretty much, to reconsider, let her stay in school, that she's doing this. This is not a bad thing for her.
No.
It's a good thing for her, but this is what she wants to do, and could you understand that? So she said that the principal, they frame the letter in the principal's office. Didn't let her come back to school. But at least he tried.
Yeah.
And the only reason they framed the letter is because it's from Robin Williams, Right.
Oh.
Yeah. We appreciate the letter, but no, you're not coming back to school.
It is...
Which is whatever, but it just shows you the type of person he was. He didn't have to do that. He could have went to his trailer, had a drink.
He could have.
It's like, screw that little kid's feelings.
Especially in those days, because he was still drinking then too, wasn't it? Or he was just getting off the wagon, or getting. How's that go?
I don't know. He did it so many times.
Yeah.
He went off and on.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, it's a pretty neat thing to do.
I tell you what, you hear about these famous people, and when they're just in college or these other things, that they encounter each other, and then years later,
Christopher
Reeve. Oh my God, you knew exactly where I was going with that. Yeah.
They went to Juilliard together,
and it's like Christopher Reeve had the opposite route. He started out more dramatic, and then he started trying to do more comedic type of roles, like in the movie Noises Off. Starring Marco Caine, John Ritter.
That's a great play.
That is a great play, but I tell you what, just the people that were
John Ritter, man, that was another one.
Oh man,
both and John and Robin were different in a very good way. Mm-hmm. They had their own style.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's kind of hard to say, well, this person has this style, this person has this style. Back then, man, it was diverse. Now everybody tries to be like everybody else. No, it sucks. Ritter, his comedic timing with physical comedy was like Chris Farley eventually became. Robin would just go. And John could do that too. They were just different. But they were those are two that in the comedy history, I think, especially television-wise, are two of the best. Not the best, two of the best.
Now, did you know that they also had a couple other famous classmates during in their school year?
I heard that they did. That there was more than him and Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
I don't.
William Hurt and Mandy Patinkin, who, those of you who aren't really familiar with that name, you will know him forever for his most famous role as Inigo Montoya, Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all shared the same program together. And the same year is crazy.
Yeah.
Class of 73.
Robin, that's another thing that happened when Chris had his accident, got paralyzed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Robin comes into the room.
He Patch Adams
wearing scrubs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And finally, Chris picked up on it because he saw the eyes.
Yeah, but do you remember what he said to...
He came in with an accent.
With a Russian accent, and he started putting on rubber gloves, and he started telling Christopher Reeve that he's going to have to start digging around in his bum.
Yeah. And then Chris finally realized what was happening and started laughing. And according to Robin and
Christopher
Reeve. Yeah, he said this himself.
In an interview, yes.
That is the moment that he decided, I want to live.
Yeah.
Because on the surface, what do you got to live for? You're confined to this chair.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to be Superman anymore. That's you may be Lex Luthor. But you're never going to get out of that chair. And Robin comes in, just makes him laugh. That's it. That's all he needed. And then he was like, you know what? I'm going to own this.
And you know what? That just shows what kind of power Robin Williams had. Because I tell you what, rest his soul, Robin Williams, if he had his own Robin Williams to get him through those dark hours, he'd still be with us.
No, I don't believe that.
I do.
I don't. Because he had them. He had Billy Crystal. He had quite a few Bobcat Goldthwait. He had a lot of Robins in his life. What got Robin Williams was out of Robin Williams' control.
Yeah.
Lewy body dementia. Once his brain starts seeing shit that's not there, I mean, there's nobody could have helped him. Nobody.
I mean,
unless they didn't misdiagnose him.
Yeah.
Because the last thing that was found on his iPad was drugs that he should have been taking.
Yeah.
He was Googling. So it would come, like Bobcat said, he would come in and out. 1 minute he's there, next minute he's not. He could go a few days and not be there, then one day, boom, he's there. So for him to come into the room where his wife was sleeping, grabbed his iPad, and then they find that as being the last thing that was searched, he knew he was still there in a way because he knew what he needed.
Well, his widow
Googled his symptoms, and that's what it said.
Well, his widow said that he told her that he was losing his mind. Mm-hmm. He knew that what was happening to him.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was completely unconscious of it. He knew it was happening to him.
Mm-hmm. That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
And especially somebody whose mind was so
That's what he
sharp.
Was. That was his mind. His mind was so...
It was his moneymaker.
It's like
that was everything.
I don't know if... now, you listeners out there, if you have not watched this, please go to YouTube and watch it, or CW Seed, or any of these other apps that might be able to show the episode that he was on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, my goodness.
That if you have not watched that...
Him and Wayne Brady were so good together.
Oh, just please. And he had dyed his hair for the movie 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
So, but oh my gosh, the
best episode
genius
ever.
That came out of that, man. He was having fun. Just pure fun. And it was, it's ad lib, it's improv. Go out there and be Robin. And he was. And it was chaos.
Yeah.
Left and right it was chaos, but it was great.
And what's crazy is you're talking about a comedy show. Inside the Actor Studio was an interview show. James Lipton hosted. It was just an interview show. Mm-hmm. And he turned it into 2 hours of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Improv comedy. Killed it. I mean, what was it, like 10 to 15 minutes into the show, James Lipton finally says, "For my first question," because it was nothing but ripping and raving as soon as he came out.
Oh, yeah. So, Brad, you were posed with a question earlier about, your favorite role that Robin was in. Why did you choose that?
Why did I choose Good Will Hunting?
Yes. Because, everybody will, most everybody will give a cookie cutter answer, but I feel like you're not.
I like those type of characters. I've seen it played a few times, and for whatever reason, that the type of character that he played, and I don't know, really just kind of hits home to me for some reason. Can't really explain why.
Well, the thing of it is, he played a therapist in that, and because of
Who had his own baggage.
Yes. Now, because of how he approached that role and performed that role, they were writing papers about that character in therapy classes in schools and specialty programs.
That's why
all
he's
over
more
the
than just a
country.
celebrity.
Yes, and I think maybe the reason why Good Will Hunting that role just hits that spot for everybody is because at the end of the day, he was speaking as a therapist, but Robin was an everyman. He was an average person. Yes, he was spastic, he was funny, but he was also humble. He was very caring. He was just a tremendous person. And I think that's going to be the theme of this show, is just that he was a human being. He was a tremendous person that this world is very sorely lacking right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Welcome
And
to
I
the
don't
show.
Yeah. And I don't think there will ever be another one.
No, I don't
At
either.
least not quite like him.
Well, I think we're going to take one more small break just so we can do that other ad, get it out of the way, and we'll talk some more about
You hear
Robin.
that, sponsors? We're just going to get you out of here.
Hey, as long as they're said, then we're going to come back. We'll talk a little more about Robin, some of his later work that wasn't quite as successful yet meaningful. It was more meaningful than it was successful. And a few other things, some of the stuff that he got into, and just anything and everything Robin, because we love the guy. But we'll be right back. Christmas is coming up and you're stressed out about the family photo you've been planning. You were ready for fall, but your hair wasn't. You have a formal coming up and you can't quite get that glamorous look you've been dreaming of. Then, look no further than Vanity Salon and Spa. Vanity Salon and Spa is a full-service salon who specializes in styling, color, and makeup. Our stylists work hard to make sure your dreams are a reality by showing you glamour and beauty is no further than a phone call away. Vanity Salon and Spa is located at 403 Happy Valley Road in Glasgow, Kentucky. Their hours are 7:30 a.m. until 7 o'clock at night or until the last appointment of the day. Call 270-629-4779 to make an appointment. Let the girls of Vanity Salon and Spa show you that glamour and beauty are always within reach.
Good morning, Vietnam!
That's what I was going to do.
Beat you to it.
Yep.
Well, we're back.
Well, you said Good Will Hunting. What did you say?
I said 1 hour photo. That was
1 hour photo.
I had two. One of them was 1 hour photo. I didn't get to go into my other one. The other one was, of course, Dead Poet Society.
That's mine. Yep.
And
A lot of good young actors in that, too.
Oh God, yeah,
Captain,
Brendan
my
Fraser. Good Lord,
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he almost had a career resurgence recently. Almost, yeah. He did that one.
Sorry, Ethan.
Sinister.
Almost.
That movie, horror movie, Sinister. Was that the name of it?
I think.
Yeah. Spoilers. Yeah, he died.
I asked that question, but it's so hard for me to give an answer myself.
Yeah.
Dead Poet Society, serious movie, serious role. That would probably be my choice. God. Well, I mean, but then again, you had World According to Garp. That was fantastic. Insomnia, like you mentioned earlier, Awakenings, Fisher King.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my man! I mean, there's a ton. But Dead Poet Society, I kind of like the whole the teacher, Jack Black, sort of did it in School of Rock.
He tried.
Yeah, rip it. Turn to page such and such. Rip it out of there. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then the fact that the school got rid of this teacher, and then the kids were like, "Wait a minute, no, we don't want to do. We there's other stuff. See, this is why I'm not a big fan of college. If high school is supposed to prepare you for college, then I feel like you should have a pretty good idea of what you would like to try to do, even though not everybody does, by the time you get into college. So, if I'm paying money to learn about stuff, I want to pay money to learn about what I want to learn about. I don't. If I have a master in such and such, then that should be the only thing I have to worry about.
Right.
I don't care about your computer class. I don't care about your science, your math. I want to learn this.
Well, see, that's why I think general education. This is for a completely different podcast, but to me, general education requirements should be handled in high school.
Yep.
Get you to that level.
Exactly.
If you want to go past and take more,
But it's a money scheme.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's all it is. Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah. So,
I agree 101.
101. Oh man, Robin Williams is just a naturally funny man.
Yep.
And I think that started in his childhood. He was trying to find a way to overcome some things that was going on in his childhood. You know, his dad was a very busy man, so he was kind of absent. He wasn't gone, but it was like my father. And in that, when I was growing up, he worked 7 days a week. You know, he ran his own business. So even though I saw him every night, but he was gone every day. And he didn't come in until dinner, and then he was out like a light because he was up before dawn. So I didn't, you know, can see a little bit of myself in Robin in trying to look for something to hold on to like that. So he had that a little bit of rough time growing up. He was also a very overweight kid. I don't know if anybody out there knew that. Robin was
the pictures,
definitely an over-hair kid.
Oh,
the pictures I've seen of him when he was younger, he didn't look overweight at all.
Well, that's because he got into soccer. But before that, when he was going into first grade, second grade, he was a chunk. He was a very big, chunky guy. He was sort of like Chunk from the Goonies. You know, he just had that extra weight. You know, and then so he was very shy. You know, he didn't really.
Oh yeah, he was an introvert.
Yes, he was very introverted.
He's the only child. You know, and the parents were pretty well-to-do. They wasn't hurting. You know, they wasn't worried about paycheck to paycheck.
No, because he was a CEO of one of the regional areas of one of the was it GM? No,
Ford.
Was it Ford?
I think it was Ford.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was Ford.
Yeah.
One of them.
They weren't hurting for money.
No. But Robin was in his room a lot by himself.
Yeah.
And now although his mother, I don't know if you've ever seen the video of them two together, he credits her for wanting to get into comedy. And he said that she had this, like, I love you in red, I love you in blue, but most of all, I love you in blue. you know, just something.
Yeah.
He said her sense of humor was outrageous. And if you watch the footage of them two together when he was older, yeah, she's very funny. She was very funny. So he didn't have a terrible childhood.
No, it wasn't terrible. I wasn't even
there
trying
wasn't any abuse or anything, but he was alone.
Yes.
And he was raised a certain way.
Yes.
To where, so I guess it came from his dad more than his mom, considering what type of sense of humor she had.
Yeah.
He was more reserved.
He was, and he was very shy. He didn't really come out of his shell until he was in high school, and he got into high school drama.
Well, even as an adult.
Yeah.
You know, you hear
high school is drama.
Straight it is.
Billy Crystal has all kinds of stories about that. Like, so Billy's a big baseball guy.
Yeah.
Huge. Huge. He drops a notch in my book because he is a Yankee fan, but
he always finds Billy Crystal always finds some way to bring baseball into his movies, no matter what role it is. And sometimes it seems really random, you know. But he always has to have something in his roles that has something to do with baseball.
Yeah,
has to.
He was telling a story, and I'll butcher it. If I'll just give you the gist of it. It was him and Robin at a baseball game, and
I know what you're talking
there
about.
was people around talking. Robin was just kind of there, looking down at the ground, and then all of a sudden, Billy noticed this, and he was like, "Hey, you wanna meet my my friend, my Russian friend or Polish friend, whatever he would say?" And he said, then you would just see Robin just light up, like, "Oh, it's time to play. Master's gonna let me go for a walk." Yeah, we're gonna take a ride in the car, sure. And then he just would rant, go into character. Mrs. Doubtfire. Again, I cannot remember her name. The girl that also played Matilda.
Yeah.
She was the younger daughter in Doubtfire. She had a story that she remembers Robin in a room, nothing but adults, and he was just kind of there. He was looking at the ground, and then he seen her, and he goes over to her, gets down on her level. Hey, how are you? All of a sudden, he's there.
Yeah.
He's calm.
But he
was so smart.
Oh yeah, he was a very tough act to follow too.
Yeah.
I mean, David Letterman's even famous in saying he said it during an interview with Robin, to Robin, and also outside of that, talking about how when they were at the Comedy Store, because people tend to forget that David Letterman was a stand-up comedian, much like they forget that Jay Leno was a stand-up comedian. Most of these nighttime talk show hosts were stand-up comedians. But he was talking about working at the Comedy Store, and once he saw Robin come in and he just blew the place out of the water, he is quoted in saying, "Holy crap, there goes my chance in show business."
That's the end of show business.
No, he goes, "There goes my chance in show business."
He also said that's the end of show business.
Oh, okay. See, I did not know that.
Yep, he said that on his tribute show to Robin.
Now, see, I never got to watch the tribute show.
When he still had the late night, before Netflix, when he was still David Letterman on CBS.
Yeah.
When they paid tribute to Robin, that's what he said. He's like, we're all standing there, and they thought he was from a foreign country because that's the way he introduced himself. So for a while, they didn't know where this dude was actually from because he was in character. I don't remember which country he said that he was from, but Switzerland. I don't know, but David said, well, they'll have to. That's it. They'll have to shut the doors on show business because how the hell can you follow that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, I mean,
it's a huge compliment.
In a huge parallel to life, I don't think we've really had anybody able to follow him since his death in 2014.
Never will. Not quite the same thing, no.
Well, they don't put a camera on me, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mr. Personality.
Oh, man.
Well,
Dave had a fantastic little tribute show to Robin.
Oh, man.
He had a picture.
I need to watch it.
He had a picture. It was the owner of the Comedy Store. I think it was the Comedy Store. There's just different clubs. Richard Pryor, David Letterman, and Robin Williams. And the way David introduced the picture, he said, "Now, what you see here is 4 people. 2 of them extremely funny, 2 of them not." Of course, he was talking about himself and the owner of the club being the ones that are not funny. Wow. He says, of course, Richard Pryor was already Richard Pryor, and but he still worked at the club, and Robin worked at the club, and that handsome woman there, she owned the club, and I trimmed hedges. Yeah. But Dave is another classic. And I'm so glad that he struck a deal with Netflix because that's Uncle Dave.
Yeah.
To me, a dad loved watching David Letterman because Dad was a huge Carson fan. And Robin Williams did a lot of great interviews on Carson.
Yes, he did.
All the way back to Johnny Carson.
Oh yeah. Anytime he came out with something new,
YouTube.
Yeah. Anytime he came out with something new for stand up or his early bits in TV, he was always on Letterman.
Yep.
But the part of the country we're in, we're in a town with up-teen churches.
It's like Sam Kinison said.
There's only 23 in the city limits.
It's like Sam Kinison said. I'm not from the Bible Belt. I'm from a notch in the Bible Belt.
Yeah. Well, I learned a few things while reading up on Robin. I mean, because I figured I could just go off the top of my head if I really wanted to, like I did with Leslie Nielsen. That's what I did for the most part. But really, I thought maybe...
Surely you can't be serious.
I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley. I thought it deserved a little bit more respect, so I decided to do a little bit more research. And, of course, Wikipedia. You got to look on that. I did not know he was a member of the.
He said it right, Kat.
And yeah. I only do that because she's not here. I mispronounce words on purpose. He was an Episcopalian, which I like how he described it. It says, "I have the idea of Chicago Protestant Episcopal Catholic light, half the religion, half the guilt."
Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious.
yeah. Another line about religion. It's talking about guys wearing pants so tight you can tell what religion they are. And that brings me to the Inside the Actor Studio interview.
Oh, man.
James Lipton always asks those certain questions, right?
Yes,
and one of them is, one of the famous ones is, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, yeah.
And Robin's answer was, there's seating near the front. There would be Mozart or Elvis, either one of your choosing. Or just to know that there's laughter in heaven. That'll be nice, just to hear God say two Jews walk into a bar. God! I mean, it's hilarious.
It is, and nobody could get away. Nobody could get away with that today. Not in this environment.
Yes, they could. Yes, they could.
Kevin Hart can't get away with a little bit of edgy comedy from 10 years ago that he's already apologized for.
Again, you're talking about the LGBTQ plus 77, 65, 75, whatever they call themselves in community. You're talking about Jesus. Of course we can make fun of that.
We're going to take a moment to say that the views and the views expressed by our host do not necessarily reflect the views of this podcast. Bullshit.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, and that's another thing. That's another thing too, because I mentioned Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
Okay, I have gay friends.
Yes.
Right. One of them, after work, a bunch of us would go out to Applebee's a lot, and he came over to my apartment. Me and my roommate was like, "Dude, Sam Kinison." We started talking about Sam Kinison, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I like Sam Kinison." Well, have you seen this documentary on him? No, I have not. So I put it in. And he was watching it. And, of course, they get to the part where they're saying the gay community, the gay glad, and the gay community boycotting. And he got mad. My gay friend did. And he said, bullshit. Like, he pointed at the screen and yelled bullshit. And I was like, are you okay? Like, I thought he was having a fit. I didn't know what happened to him. And he said, the gay community did not picket Sam Kinison's concert. A handful of gay people picketed Sam Kinison's concert. Not every single gay person in the world, because I happen to think the man was freaking hysterical. I mean, you see, so and this was in the 80s. This was in the 80s where that whole rumor or myth or whatever about the gerbil thing, and then AIDS, you know. So Sam starts getting picketed, and what does Sam say? I apologize. I'm sorry. Actually, guys, I want to thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for giving us the Black Plague of the 80s. You know, he's a comedian. You do not go to a comedy show and expect to get offended and
do not sit
do
in the
anything
front.
about it.
That's like getting mad if a comedian points you out while you're sitting in the front row. You're sitting in the front row.
Right.
You're cannon fodder. That's like sitting in the front row at a Gallagher comedy event and getting mad when you get watermelon bits on you. It makes no sense.
Gallagher.
Google
that name.
Oh, he's gonna be another subject we'll go over at some point.
But my whole point of saying that, because touching on what you said, the views expressed, when it comes to me personally, yep, I believe it. Again, break it. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But just like my friend said, stop bundling people up into a group.
Yeah, quit categorizing.
Yes, everybody's their individual. That goes back to what I was saying about Bevan and politics. I'm sick of hearing left. I'm sick of hearing right. I'm sick of all of it, because I don't belong to anybody. I believe what I want to believe. I don't believe everything this person believes. I don't believe everything this person believes. Period. You are you. And when it comes to comedy, again, like Robin said, if somebody gets offended for anything that has been said here tonight, please take this to heart.
Yeah.
Joke you if you can't take a
Let me tell you. We're getting ready to come to a close here, but I think what we're going to do, if you all can hang around for a few more minutes after after we're done with the main area here, I'd like to hit pause and then have like a B-side for like maybe 10, 15 minutes of talking about something a little more risque in Robin's life. Just, this one's a little more family friendly. It's edited. This other part, not so much. So I think we'll just let that fly. And I've got a subject for that.
Okay.
It's one of the funniest bits I've ever heard him say. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But I would like
golf?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Although
now I'm really racking my brain.
Hilarious.
One of the funniest or one of the dirtiest?
Both.
Bit.
I wanted to talk about.
He never did the aristocrats joke.
No. I don't even think he could have done that joke justice. That is strictly Gilbert Gottfried's goal.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bob Saget did a pretty good job, too, but I don't think anybody can touch a Gilbert.
No, and look, if you have not watched it, the Jeff Ross new stand-up that he's got with the what's his name?
I can't think right now.
Tapping mics or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Watch
Netflix.
that. Netflix, yes. Watch that. That's.
Do they have Gilbert
genius
on there?
Yes, they do.
Oh man,
they have Gilbert on there, and he does the aristocrats.
No.
Yes, he does.
Gilbert. Hey, I'll tell you what. If you've never seen it, YouTube this Gilbert Gottfried, 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes,
you will not regret it.
But I'm
excited to see what your this bit is.
Yeah, and I'm sure. You'll recognize it, obviously. But I tell you what, there was when I went out to California a few years ago. This is obviously before Robin died. I went out to the Chinese
that's
theater.
where your resin comes from?
No, that was Mike, 3 counties over.
I don't know. I'm just trying to be an ass, and I probably failed at it.
I'm lost.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's called Deadpan for a reason.
Yeah, Deadpan Studio, which is where we're recording right now.
I have a headache.
But no, I went out to California and I got to visit the Chinese theater, and of course, right outside the Chinese theater is the Walk of Fame, the stars, the handprints. I tell you what, even then, before Robin passed away, this is middle of the week. I was out there with a friend of mine, Kat, and we were just
a friend of yours.
Yeah, I have some friends.
Well, you just made it sound like you were out with your friend Kat.
Oh no.
I thought, gee,
no, we were geeks. We went to Comic-Con that year, but there was a huge crowd around his star, and a secondary crowd with his hand and footprints, with his signature on it. And of course, you had people out there like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And of course, you had the people from Twilight. They're which, funny enough, they're a part of the temporary stars and handprints and footprints.
They had already got their star.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they don't earn it. People pay money to put that stuff down.
But that's a little early.
Well, but what's funny is they're on the temporary ones, which means there are some that permanently stay in one spot, which, like Robin's and, a number of others. But they're considered the flavor of the week, flavor of the week squares. So whoever comes by and is just like huge at the time, like, for example, Kristen Stewart. She would probably be replaced with like Miley Cyrus. Right. You'll put Miley Cyrus down, and then you would trade her out for somebody else, and trade them out for somebody else, so on and so forth.
Right.
No, it was just really neat to see how, because at that point he wasn't really making any movies. He, on a little break, I guess, and his career was starting to slow down a little bit. But still, crowd of people around his star, and a crowd of people, a separate one around his. His square for his signature handprints and shoe prints.
Yeah.
It's unreal. That just shows what sort of influence he had. You know, how much he touched, everybody.
It's like Billy Crystal said, he wasn't even in the U.S. when Robin passed away. He was in the U.K. Mm-hmm. Everywhere.
Yeah.
He said it was everywhere. Everywhere I looked, there he was. There was his face. He's like, it was just as big over there as it was here.
Oh, he was big everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Big in the pants.
I think so.
According to Bobcat Goldthwait, yes.
Yeah.
He's when they did when they did
They named Jumanji out of his garage.
world's greatest dad together. Robin had a nude
World's
scene where he
Greatest Dad.
jumped into the pool.
He had his first nude scene in Fisher King.
Yeah, and
Jumping up down, that thing flopping around
in
everywhere.
in an interview for the film, Bobcat, they got to talking about that. And Bobcat looked at Robin and said, "I don't know how you can be insecure."
It's the hair. He was more secure about how hairy he was, and that's one of the reasons he actually had a really hard time filming Hook.
Yeah.
They wanted him, and in one scene, I can't remember. It's been years since I've seen that movie. But he had to be shirtless, and he had put on a few pounds since the last time he'd had a shirt off, and covered in hair. And he was very self-conscious about that, even though he would joke about it.
Did all the time.
Even some of the Monty
You have
Python
to point
people.
it out. If you feel bad about it, you're going to point it out so others don't laugh at you. They will laugh with you.
In order to do that, he made sure that he was shaved twice a day in order to film those scenes. Because his hair grew so fast.
Right.
But he hated it. He absolutely hated it. He made sure that he was completely shaved and waxed and shaved at least twice a day to make sure that nothing started to show up.
I hate that too. I hate body grooming.
Yeah, I have a beard and I hate grooming it.
Yeah, I do too. But the females don't have their mouth on my face, though.
No.
I remember one of his, I think it was a night at the Met, where he was wearing those black kind of leather parachute type pants.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes,
"Oh, man.
Robin is wearing the latest from Hefty Bag."
He could make any, he could make any point in time enjoyable. He could find a way. I mean, you could go to a funeral. You could go to, if he could have found a way to clone himself, he could have found a way to make his own funeral hilarious.
Oh man, I'm sure there
Like
was some
Leslie
laughs.
Nielsen.
But
yeah,
they
exactly. Man, I wish they
Let
could
her rip.
on Leslie Nielsen's tombstone. He put his favorite gag was the whoopee cushion. So on his tombstone, he has the words "Let her rip" on it. Yeah.
yeah,
As a last,
R.I.P.
joke, F you,
fart. Yeah,
that's
that's very clever.
Yeah.
Let her rip.
that just, that's
Dracula dead and loving it.
oh man, that's
Master.
Barely touched on that.
I said it in the Dracula Dead and Loving It. I actually used that Renfield as my inspiration for auditioning for Dracula that I lost out on.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's
I used that, and I swear that I did so well, but it happens.
I did think I don't know the local actor, or whoever he is, but I thought he done a wonderful job.
Oh his name is
Who, Renfield?
Yeah.
Jeff.
Jeff. Yes,
Jeff Moore.
I don't know Jeff, so
he did a really
He
good
lives in
job.
Bowling Green. He
thought he done a wonderful
Oh
job.
man, he's killer. He's so good.
That was
So very good.
That was a good
See,
cast.
me and Nick. There's two Nicks. Nick Swain. He was local. He's a local firefighter, and he played Dracula.
I went to school with his wife,
Lauren. Mm-hmm. Yep.
sweetheart,
Lauren.
Swain.
Don't know her.
Me and Nick both really wanted Renfield. We wanted that part.
Sorry.
Well, you got to get used to him.
Yeah, a little bit.
We both like oh man, I hope I get Renfield. I
Made
hope
you
I get
laugh.
Renfield. But I knew that Nick was going to get Dracula,
Yeah.
and I did not see Jeff's audition. But when we started rehearsing, the very first night, I was ooh, Paul made the right choice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Paul's
great
got
Renfield.
an eye for talent.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And then the more and more it went on, when we finally went to the stage, his Renfield really came to life. It's like, God, he's so good. So I would stand backstage, I mean, right next to him, but you can't see me.
Yeah.
I'm off the stage, but right behind the curtain, I'm just standing right there, just watching him work. And I'm just like, dude, it's so good. And if I keep looking at him, I'm going to miss my cue to go on stage, so I better get ready.
Which is just about the way that people treated being on film, just being around Robin.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place for us to kind of bring this show to a close. It's just Robin meant so many things to so many people. Some he was just a comedian. Some he was a father. He was a friend. He was just an actor.
Well, I'll tell you this: if a man's dying that you've never met in your life, and you're a perfectly grown, sane individual, the reading about that person's death makes you cry.
It does. I did.
That's how I
to
felt
the point
about Tom Petty.
where it takes you a full week before you're able to even watch him perform and be okay with it.
I'll admit. I mean, 4 years later, it's still tough to see some of the
they were
things that he was
special.
in. Yeah, I would. I just kind of want to just to see some of the best things that Robin has ever done. Please go to YouTube or just Google some of the best bits that he's ever done, whether it's in a film or
on Broadway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Talking.
That's what we're going to talk about after
That
this.
was my one. That's the one thing that I remember about Robin was that.
Good friend of mine said we all come from there and want to get back as often as possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think we should touch on Live on Broadway.
Are we going to touch it?
He did.
And him and Nathan Lane were so good together too.
Oh man. Yeah.
Michael Kidd.
Birdcage.
Birdcage, man. It's hilarious. Oh, I pierced the toast. That was Nathan. That wasn't Robin.
But just seeing Robin prance around and that big 70s style mustache.
God, porn stash.
Yes.
He said, you move with it. He said, you fussy 1 and a fussy 2 and Madonna, Michael Kidd. You know, he's running around the set and then he goes, but you keep it all inside.
That's right. And that, my friends, is Robin in a nutshell. Well, that has been another episode of Soaking Nostalgia. I'm going to go ahead and put we're going to cut loose here in a few minutes. I'm going to hit pause. We're going to do a little bit after this, but that is Robin in a nutshell, I have to say, and that is a good way for us to close. So thank you for joining us for another episode of Soaking Nostalgia. I am one of your hosts, Matt. Yes.
That is the wrong way to end that.
How do you want to end it?
You're only given a little spark of madness. If you lose that, you're nothing.
We'll end with that. Again, I am one of your hosts, Matt.
Allen.
Sir Bradley.
And we will catch you all next time.